When I was 25, I had this obsession with the plan. I was like, okay, well, by this age, I want to get married and have kids. And by this age, I want to have this many #1 songs. Your cup is filled in other ways. That's not just your success.
We need to talk about your new project that comes out literally tomorrow. Tonight at midnight.
Tomorrow! Right after Shot in the Dark came out, my life was wonderful and also terrible at the same time. These 9 songs feel like they're telling the story of what you experienced in this specific chapter of your life.
How do you navigate going through like the highest highs and the lowest lows all at once?
Therapy. Like, truly. You almost feel older at 25 than you do at 28, which is weird.
100%. I want to talk a little bit about breakups.
My boyfriend of 2 years and I went through a long, grueling breakup.
When they're good people, it is so much harder to go through the breakup.
Hard.
Mid-breakup, if you could go back and tell yourself something at that point, what would you say?
Love is a choice. And you have to just pick somebody that you want to keep choosing.
Hi, house guest. Welcome back to the show. Welcome to my chairs in my living room. This week, we have friend of the show, Ashley Cooke, back on. I love that girl. Seriously, she is incredible. We actually recorded together 3 years ago this month, the time that this is actually going live, which is so crazy. We were talking about that when she first came over. I'm like, it feels like that was a decade ago, but it also feels like it was literally 2 seconds ago, and so much has happened. She actually has a new project that is dropping tonight at midnight, which I'm so excited for, called Ace. Not only is she so unbelievably talented, like she is a performer, she is a singer, she is a songwriter, she is a business mastermind entrepreneur, she's very smart. She is also just a very kind person, and like I love just talking to her. We connect on so many things. Like we are very aligned in a lot of stuff, and then also we realized this in the last episode. Definitely go back and listen to that one because it's actually one of my favorite episodes because it was just so fun. Like we just clicked so well. We're just very aligned on a lot of things. Like we're very similar, and in like thinking, I'm like Ashley's the greatest person ever. I meant like we're similar, like almost in the way that we like view things and like situations. When she was talking, I'm like, yeah, I would do that too. I love her, and I think you guys are really going to like this episode. She has had some of her highest highs and lowest lows in the past like year or two, and that is what this project is about. She's talking about her breakup on the episode a little bit more than she like normally does, and she's gone through a lot of loss and a lot of just like family health problems and stuff. So we're talking about like getting through those things also while trying to like live a good life and like have fun and knowing that you like still deserve to have good moments. But I think you guys are really going to like this episode. Ashley is just the greatest girl, the greatest guest, so talented, so incredible, and I love her. So without further ado, let's welcome Ashley into our home as our house guest. We just keep talking, and I'm like, give us a second. We're just gonna get going with today.
Let's just do it.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank
3
you.
years later.
Thank you for having me.
How
so good to be
exciting.
back. I know.
Also, your makeup looks incredible.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Like, did you do that or did you get that
I did
done?
not do that, no.
Wow,
I could not
glam.
do it myself. I do it myself for shows most of the time, but I just can't do what they do. So I need professional help here.
It looks amazing.
Thank you so much. Yours is too.
Thanks. Not
I love
really,
your new
but
hair, by the way. We talked about this earlier.
Thank you.
But
Yes.
I love the color. It like brings out your features so well. The blonde
Thank
did
you.
too, but this looks so good.
Thank you. I always say like maturing for me was realizing that my natural hair color looks better and it's easier.
Is this your natural color?
It's like close to it.
Okay, I'm with you.
It's giving that vibe. Like I tone it every couple of months, which I thought toning like wasn't really dyeing your hair. I thought it was just like, I don't know what I thought it was. And so my sister's like, you need to stop telling people you have nothing on your hair. I'm like, it's just a tone. She's like, that's still color. I'm like,
What's that the quote from that girl named Tana? It's like bleach and tone. Have you
literally.
seen that?
Yeah. Yes, Tana
Just
Mojo, I
a
love.
bleach and tone. A bleach and tone. Yeah. But it still looks
literally.
blonde. It's just like a honey or like darker blonde.
Thank you. It's just easier. I just like don't like sitting in. I get really impatient. I don't like getting my nails done. That's why they look horrible. I don't like sitting there for a long period of time.
I feel that completely.
It's just awful.
My nails look so bad right now because I hate getting them done. So same exact thing. Yeah, I'm with you.
I was thinking like maybe I'll go after this. And like we're not. Let's just be honest. Let's start off this podcast in the spirit of transparency.
Our nails look like shit, and they're gonna look like shit, and that's fine. You know, like it just is what it is.
And I won't be making it there today.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not happening.
100%. Yep.
I saw you say somewhere that one of your dreams is to star in like a Colleen Hoover movie.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I think I have the one for you.
Which one?
I think it would make sense because of your Florida roots.
Yep.
You know, water. With Heartbones. Because
I haven't read that one yet.
Okay, so Heartbones is in Texas, in Galveston, I believe, which is like the beach in Texas, which is, not much. But I think that would make the most sense. That's what I was thinking for you today.
What's the character in Heartbones, like the main character?
So I forget her name. Actually, I did write it down, I think. Because I feel like it would be good. Okay, Bea?
I don't
know
know
if that's
manifesting.
true
Is she blonde in the movie? I also could dye my hair.
See, I read this
if you're
book.
listening, we can dye my hair.
Literally, I read this book probably 4 or 5 years ago, and I remember like really loving it. Here's like I kind of am I always say, like, when I'm talking about like books in the podcast, I'm like, look,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like aren't Colleen Hoover people, whatever. It's kind of like the gateway drug for reading.
Yeah.
I like Colleen Hoover books. Like, that's what also got me like so back into reading as an adult.
100%. Yeah. What's your favorite Colleen Hoover book? Do you know?
Okay, it's All Your Perfects. I don't know if
I haven't read that one either.
So it's a depressing one, and it's like no one's favorite, but it follows this couple that's like splitting up, and I'm like, amazing. Any book that's gonna be depressing and make me cry, like,
You're
obsessed.
gonna love it. I love
Literally
Verity.
obsessed.
Verity's one of my favorites.
Yes.
I'm obsessed with that one. It ends with us. It starts with us, obviously. But Verity's coming out soon too. We have a movie with Anne Hathaway and somebody else is starring in it too.
She is gonna be perfect for it.
Perfect.
Well,
Perfect.
you know what? Oh my gosh, you should have gone with me. I wish I would have known this last week because they just Regretting You is coming out, and last week they were doing an early screening and they had me like host it. I would like, but like all I did was I stood at the front of the theater. It was like so nice of them to think of me, but I was like, are you sure you guys want me to do this? Because it's like so random. I feel like everyone in the theater is gonna be like, who the hell is this girl? And I sat there and I was like, thanks to Paramount for like having us here. Make sure you do the tags. Like
That's hilarious.
It was so nice, but I wish I would have known. I would have had to come.
Right.
It was
I would have
great.
loved to. Seriously. Next time you're any coho involved in anything, let me know because I love being there.
Absolutely.
But I read a book. I just finished a book a little bit ago that's called Hidden Pictures. Have you seen it?
No.
Or read it? Seen it. Read it. It's unreal. Do you like murder mystery kind of stuff?
Love a murder mystery.
Okay, it's kind of like that, but it's unreal. You have to read it. Hidden Pictures, or there's one called Twice.
I'm gonna add that to my Goodreads.
Yeah.
Do you have you ever read Frida McFadden?
No.
Okay, so I think you would like Frida McFadden because Frida McFadden is a good gateway author into thriller.
Frida McFadden. Okay.
Yes, and also what's so interesting by Jason. Oh, it's on my what to read already.
No way. Okay, yes.
It's a sign.
Yes. you
I'm
have to
adding
read it.
that.
I just finished it and I could not put it down. It was so good.
Oh, I
Like
can't
every
wait for
single
that.
chapter, you're like, it's a page turner for sure.
Are you a physical book or a Kindle book?
Physical book.
Reader.
I can't do Kindle.
Oh my gosh,
I
I'm
can't
such
do
a
it.
Kindle girl.
I
I'm
can't do
Kindle
it. I feel like
forever.
there's something about it. I feel like reading is what gets me away from the screen for a minute.
Fair.
So being on a screen reading a Kindle is hard for me, and I like to underline stuff too, so it's just easier to have it. But I'm such a physical book person. Are you Kindle?
Kindle forever.
Really?
Because my Kindle screen doesn't feel like
A screen.
screen to me, and I still highlight on like the actual Kindle
Right.
thing. But no, I'm a Kindle girl through and through. It also makes me read more.
I need to try it. I really do. I just feel like I would hate it. I've never tried it.
Okay,
But I
give it a
feel like I would
shot.
hate it.
No, I think I will get you a Kindle. Give it a shot.
Okay, deal.
Oh, you know what else? Okay, so back to Frida McFadden though. I think you
Yes.
really like Frida McFadden because she is a thriller author. I can't speak today.
You're so fine. It's one of those days.
Literally just one of those days. Like it's a Monday at 3 p.m. Like this is like probably my worst hour of the week.
Correct, yes.
She has really good page-turning thrillers that get you into. It's also very interesting because she's a brain surgeon or something like that.
Wait, like actually in real life?
Actually, in real life, I don't know exactly what she is, but she's something along those lines. And she started writing these books for her patients to like get them hooked into it so they could like read easily for like their recovery.
Frida McFadden. Okay, I'm
She's
writing this
good.
down wherever my phone is.
You would like
Somebody
her.
write
I'll
this
send
down.
it to you. You would
I'm like, yeah,
her.
I need to read this. It's amazing.
So I'm really
cool.
glad that you just plotted your next career move.
Honestly, that'd be such a dream, though. Like
It would be so
I just
good.
worked on a couple projects with kind of the acting space, and so I want to get more into it. I mean, music will always be my first thing, but I did acting as a kid a little bit. I think I told you about this last time. I don't remember, but I did some stuff when I was younger and kind of grew up around it. My sister's an actress, and so I've kind of always been around it, but I would just love to do something in the acting space. Like actually like do like a show or a project or something that I can really exercise that muscle, you know?
I so see that for you.
Yeah.
You know what's
It'd be
something
fun.
I didn't know about you?
What?
Is your connection to like the Cyrus family.
Weird, right?
Yeah, can you
Crazy.
please update us on that? Because I love that podcast. So I was like, Ashley, and I was like, wait, what? I'm so confused.
Yeah, life is so weird, truly, because when you're a kid, you don't realize that these people are like famous or you're surrounded by whatever. But I moved around a lot growing up. I definitely talked about this a little bit on the last podcast, but moved around a lot growing up. And one of the places that I moved was LA when I was, like 10, I want to say. And my sister was in acting, and I was dabbling in music and acting and the whole 9 yards. And I went to this small professional school in LA that was meant for kids that act, that can't go to regular public schools because of the truancy letters and whatever. So we all...
I got the truancy letters with or without acting, to be
100%.
fair.
Yeah, it's part of it. But so we all went to this small, like, private entertainment kids school. And Noah Cyrus and Brazen Cyrus were two people that went to the school. And also Stella Hudgens and Stephanie Scott and people that have been, like, famous actors, gone on to be very famous actors now. Leah Lewis and, like, a lot of people at that school that were very successful and are very successful now. So the Cyruses went to that school, and we all just became really, really good friends and would hang out at our houses every day. And we called each other's parents like Aunt Beth and Aunt Tish and Daddy Ray. And like we just called each other. We were like cousins, basically. It was so weird growing up. And then me and my sister moved away to Florida. My dad's job took us there, and we just kind of all moved and kind of drifted as the years went, just became different people, and I still love them so much, but we were just not as close as we were when I was kids, obviously. But it's so crazy, and I'm so proud of Noah. She's killing it right now too. She just played the Ryman, I think, not too long ago, and she's killing it. So I'm proud of everybody in that family, and I'm happy to see them as adults just crushing it.
And Carter Faith is opening for Noah, and I love Carter. She's also a friend of the show.
I saw that.
They are
Cherry
incredible.
Valley.
Yeah. Insane.
Literally
insane.
She's one of those artists that I feel like when I first met her, became friends with her early on, I was like, okay, something's cool about you. Like, you have a really cool spark about you. And then you hear her sing live. You hear her sing on a record. I mean, she's just stupid talented. I just cannot wait to see her career explode more than it already has, you know?
Insanely talented. Like, she's so good.
Yeah, and that's a cool, Noah and her as a pair is really cool too. Because Carter has like some of that more artsy, like, I wouldn't say poppy, but just like unique artsiness to her music that's a little different than traditional country. And Noah obviously kind of has a flair of country because of her whole family, where she comes from, but she's very pop. So it's a cool combo. I love it.
They are a great combo. So it's been 3 years since you were last on the show.
Yeah.
Like, obviously this is such a big question, but what do you think is the biggest difference between your life now and your life then?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's see, 2022 that was. I feel like a different human, which is the crazy part, because that was pre my debut album even coming out, right? Man, I mean, I think more than anything, I mean, I'm 28 now. I was, 25 then? And not that is that drastic of a difference, but I guess those 3 years in your 20s can really be pivotal to who you are as a person. And for me, so much has happened since then. Like 2022, I was dreaming of getting a #1 song, and now I have one. And 2022, I was dreaming of winning an award, and now I've won one. And being nominated now, I've been nominated. Like, a lot's happened since then that I've done and I've achieved, and it's crazy. It's crazy now sitting here talking about it, because you don't realize how different it feels when you're in the moment of achieving those things and after the fact versus before when you're dreaming about them, you know? I'd say a lot has changed for me as a person, for the goals that I wanted to hit, and also just I feel like everything has changed. My family, their health, the relationship that I was in 2022 versus where I am now, and just it feels like everything's changed in a really fun way. I still feel very much like myself, but it is funny to look back and look at videos of myself from pre-Shot in the Dark era, or even during Shot in the Dark era, and feel almost like, wow, she was so this, or she was so that. And so it's cool to look back and kind of get to like take a peek into my old self and now sit in my new self, you know?
I do feel like there's because we're the exact same age.
Yeah.
I do feel like there's a really big difference between 25 to 28.
Yeah.
I remember
It's
at
true.
25 feeling like I was actually an adult. I'm returning 25 and like wanting to cry because I felt like I was
like, I'm
getting
so
so old.
old.
No,
Yes.
literally. And now I'm like, I actually feel so young. Like, I feel like I'm literally like 16 years old.
Yeah, you almost feel older at 25 than you do at 28, which is weird.
100%.
What do you think is the reason for that?
I feel like it's kind of similar to like the split between 18 to 22. And then at 18,
Right.
you think you know everything. And at 22, you realize you know nothing. I think again at 25, you think you know everything. And at 28, again, you think you know nothing.
That's a really good point. Yeah, you're right.
I feel like you stop caring about dumb things. Like,
100%.
obviously, the older you get, like, what are some things at 25 that really bothered you that, like, you don't even think about now?
I think I just really gave too much of a shit about what people think of me. Like, truly.
Yeah.
And I think we all do it. But truly back then, it was like everything I said, everything that I did, I wanted to like rehearse what I said before I went into places, and like made sure that I said exactly what I wanted to say. And I realized, even just playing shows, for example, which is my job, obviously, when I get up on stage now, genuinely, I just don't know what I'm going to say. Like, I just don't. And there's a beautiful freedom to that, where I don't feel like I'm rehearsed. I don't feel so prepared, which I think in that people start to really get to know you and see you as your authentic self. And that's something that's powerful, you know? Like, I think that I just cared a lot about social media and comments and blah, blah, blah when I was younger. And of course you still care about them to this day when you're older and stuff. But I think now I just am like, whatever, you know, people suck and people are great. And hopefully I encounter more of the latter.
Yeah. It's also kind of, I think you're going to find what you're looking for. So if you're trying so hard to just find the good and not focus on like the hate comments and stuff,
100%.
like, that really does make a huge difference.
Right. I think also too, when I was 25, I had this obsession with the plan. I was like, okay, well, by this age, I want to get married and have kids. And by this age, I want to have this many number one songs. And by this age, I want to, and then it's like, you get to places. When I hit my first number one song, it didn't feel anything like I thought it would feel. And I think because you experience those things and you encounter those things and the plan shifts a little bit, you're able to just throw it out the damn window and say, whatever makes me happy is what I'm going to do, and hope that the rest just falls into place, you know?
Wait, I'm curious. How did it feel versus like what did you expect
For the number one song?
Yeah.
I think I mean, I'm sure you've had this with a lot of goals that you've achieved too. I think when you're young and you're entrepreneurial and you're hardworking and you're hungry and you want these things to work out, you think that all the things that you sacrifice on the journey to get to where that thing is, that goal, that, you know, box that you want to check, you think that all of what you sacrificed will just all of a sudden feel like you didn't have to sacrifice it when you get to that place. Like, you think it's just going to all feel like, we did it, and now everything's wonderful and everything's back to normal and great and whatever. But really, I just felt like it was another Tuesday. You know, like, it felt like so exciting, and like my team rallied and there was champagne and there was all this stuff and it was a good time. But when I was home alone on my counter just thinking about the fact that I just got a number one song, it wasn't this like, everything feels wonderful now. It was like, well, now what do I do? I have to follow it up. I have to make people think, I have to, it was like this pressure immediately, which I didn't want to have to feel, you know?
Yeah.
So now next one, I mean, hopefully if I get another number one song, I'm just going to kind of be like,
You will.
hell yeah, thank you. But we can hope, you know, we just never know. But yeah, I think it felt different because you think it's going to make everything just go away. All the problems go away. And it doesn't, you know?
It brings on a new set of problems.
Exactly. It's like the more success that you get, the more problems you have. And that sounds so stupid. And like I'm complaining about having success, and that's not it at all. It's more just, you can't put all of your eggs in the basket of succeeding, because if you do, nothing else will fulfill your cup. So it's just fill your cup, not fulfill your cup. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's just making sure your cup is filled in other ways that's not just your success, because that will never make you feel fully happy, you know?
I don't feel like it seems like you're complaining about success or anything like that at all. What I heard from that is kind of what you said at the end, like, this success that you think that you're like pushing for and working towards for years and years isn't actually going to be like what fulfills you.
Right. Exactly. That's really what it is that
It's not going to solve the problems.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I think, you know, I missed out on weddings and funerals and important moments in my family's and friends' lives to get this radio number one song. And not that I would ever go back and change any of that, but I think when I got the number one, I was assuming for it to just feel like a bigger mountaintop than it was, you know? And that's the beauty in it. That's the beauty in it, is that it's just, you get to kind of, my therapist and I talk a lot about this. Her name's Frances. She's wonderful. And we talk a lot about this, and she's like, hey, I think instead of thinking about finish lines, it's more just goals you want to hit. And so you make a list of goals that you want to hit. When you hit the goals, you take a week-long vacation, you celebrate it, and you get back to the list and do something else. And that's life. You know, it's just a long list of goals that you want to hit, that nothing is like the end-all be-all, because nothing is the end-all be-all until you're in the ground, you know?
Yeah, and then
That
it
was
takes
so
the
morbid.
pressure off. Seriously, though, it really does take the pressure off. What are some things that you find to be like fulfilling to you in your personal life?
Honestly, just like real human connection. I think a lot of people nowadays are getting fatigued with social media, and I hate that, because it's so much of our job. It's what we do, both of us, you know? It's a lot of what we do. But I think people are starting to really crave and hunger for that genuine human connection. And so for me, it's like, phone's out the window, it's in the drawer in the room, and I'm just hanging out drinking coffee with an old friend or meeting somebody new in a checkout line. Like, it's real human connection that is not manufactured. It's not planted, you know, it's just genuine people interacting. That fills my cup big time, whether it's an old friend, family, or somebody brand new that I've never encountered before. If I can just really like see them and they can really see me, then I feel like my cup is filled for the day.
I'm so similar. Like, even the random, I mean, we discovered this on the last podcast when we have the exact same personality type for every single test. But
because you're a 7, right, on the Enneagram?
I'm Enneagram 3, but there was something else that we did that was similar. But
that was
ours
like the
were
same thing, yeah.
Maybe ours were, what's the word, like, not compatible, but complementary on Enneagram.
Yeah.
There was something like that. But we are so similar as far as like the being like the goals and the drive and just like the way that we view so many things. But even just like talking to someone random and like checkout line, like if I'm freaking out and I'm like very anxious or just like having the worst day ever, I'm like, if I go out in public and I just have one positive interaction with someone, I will be cured.
100%.
It really is a big game changer.
It's just like real human kindness. And I think also because social media has taken over so much of what we do, that's kind of a rarity, which is really sad because that used to be just the norm. You watch like 90s movies and you're like, oh, I miss this. I was also like 3, but I'm like, I miss this. Like I wish I was in this. I wish this was life still. And you start to realize just how much we miss that, like genuine human connection, you know? And social media is a beautiful way to connect with people on a mass scale. And again, we're so lucky that it's fueled what we do for a living. But I think there's just people are missing that one extra piece, which is like the real one-on-one human connection.
Also, it feels like the world is being burned to the ground at all times on social media.
All the time. Yes.
And it's so divided. It feels like everyone hates everyone. Everyone hates you. Like you really just, it's such a depressing place to be sometimes. Like I have changed my feed to where it's literally like sourdough and needlepoint. Like it's me and the grandmas. Like that's
What's needlepoint? Is that like threading?
Oh my gosh, we'll get to this soon. It's like, I don't have anything out here right now, but it's these little, it's kind of like a paint by numbers, but on a stitch thing. So like you'll see like the needlepoint pillows, like you'll be like, oh, I recognize that, but like I literally needlepoint. Like it is so
okay, I have to get on this hobby too.
This would actually be very good for you, but it is just like mind numbing. Like you're just sitting there, it's very therapeutic. You're not on your phone.
Right.
But when I go out in public and I have those interactions, I remember like, oh, we don't actually all hate each other.
Right.
At least, I mean, maybe like in certain places, like they're not so friendly, but like we live in Texas and Tennessee, like everyone's fairly friendly.
100%.
But even just that alone, I feel like it's just less depressing. Like you have to go and see it for yourself that the world isn't burning.
Like, why does it feel so depressing? You know?
Yeah.
Because there's some creators that I love to watch that are very optimistic and fun and positive and wanting to spread like positivity, whether it's body positivity or just positivity, period, like a mood positivity thing. And those people light up my For You page, but it's like, why does it feel so heavy? What is it about social media that makes you feel, when you doom scroll for, 2 hours, which we all do so often? My screen time's always insane. I always have like 9 hours of screen time and I'm like, where did this come from? But you just pick it up and it's like a ghost in your hand and you just keep wanting to click it. And yeah, it's tough, but also that's on us to bring hopefully positive content online.
Totally. But I think even then, like, I think it really also depends on like that place that person is in. Because there's sometimes where like if I'm in an emotionally bad place and I see someone out, like it can just do different things to you at different times, you know?
Yeah.
We need to talk about your new project that comes out literally tomorrow. Tonight at midnight.
Tomorrow, yeah.
So take us through this journey. And also at the top of this, can you explain the difference? This is the first thing she walked into my house today. I was like, so quick question. What is the difference between like an album and a project?
For sure. Yeah. Honestly, okay, so here's the thing. My debut record came out, 24 songs, shot in the dark, very long first project, basically a double album. It was a double album. It was 12 songs, long project. I loved it. It was so much fun. But right after Shot in the Dark came out, my life was wonderful and also terrible at the same time. I swear it was like the best things happened, like #1 song and international tours and all this incredible stuff happened. But at the same time, both of my grandmas passed away. My dad was diagnosed with stage 5 or cancer for the 5th time. My boyfriend of 2 years and I went through a long, grueling breakup, and my sister had health problems. I had health problems. Like so much happened. And I'm a songwriter, so I wrote about them. Like all I did was write about these topics for like a solid couple of months. And so when we were recording songs for my second album, we all sat down and looked at the track listing and looked at all the songs. We've cut a lot of songs for this record. And we looked down and we're like, man, these 9 songs feel like they're telling the story of what you experienced in this specific chapter of your life when all of the shit hit the fan, basically. And I was dealing with the most amazing mountaintops and also the craziest valleys at the same time. So I was like, man, it feels important enough to me to put out a project, which basically means an EP, if you will. It's like a not an album, but it's a collection of songs. That's the difference between a project and an album. But I was like, man, it feels so important to me to have these songs live on their own for a minute because this tells a story. Like truly, the project starts with Getting Old, which explains all of what I went through the last couple years in one song. And then it goes down this timeline of a breakup, which is what happened. It's what I went through. And the ending song is a song called My Worst Fear. And it's if my worst fear actually came true, which you'll learn by listening to it. But my worst fear is experiencing all of this and being alone. And so it really is just this project that felt like the perfect story and needed to kind of live on its own so I could wrap it in a bow, tie it up, and move on to my second record. And so that's the difference. It's kind of like the bridge, the gap between my first and second records.
How do you navigate going through like the highest highs and the lowest lows all at once?
Therapy. Like truly therapy. And leaning on the people around me. Because like, for example, like my band, they are on the road with me every night, playing those shows, missing their families, missing their children and their wives and their friends and their family reunions and weddings and funerals. They're also experiencing all the things that I'm experiencing on a different level, but at the same time, it's like really relying on the people around you. That's my thing. But also, I think therapy is just the best thing in the whole world. Truly.
Agreed.
I mean, I Zoom my therapist a lot too, and I think it's just making sure that you don't bottle it up, because as an entertainer too, the weirdness of getting the phone call that your grandma passed away, stepping on stage in front of thousands of people to perform songs that have nothing to do with that topic, and then getting off stage, going back to the green room to sit there alone in silence, realizing that your grandma's no longer there or that this person passed away. It's the craziest thing ever, and I think without some kind of person to talk through it and hold a mirror up to you and help you understand what you're feeling, you can't do it, you know?
Also, that's so hard because in loss, the last thing you want is for someone to look at you. So then to have to go on stage in front of all of those people and like put on a smile, like that is so tough.
I will say though, the weird thing that I really think, you know, being an artist and performing is something that I've just always had innately in me, because yes, it's tough to get up there and do it, but at the same time, I don't think I would have survived without that outlet too. Like there's something about performing that you're able to step into a different version of yourself and kind of cope, even though nobody knows what you're going through. It's like they're there to rally you. They're there to cheer you on and get excited. And there's this energy in the crowd that I also don't know if I could have not done it, you know?
Do you feel like you're kind of like disassociating in a way, or it's like an alter ego?
Ooh, that's a good question. I wouldn't say alter ego, because genuinely I feel like I'm me on stage. I wish I had like a Tatiana Tate McRae or like a Sasha Fierce Beyonce. Like I wish I had that kind of, you know, put on a character thing, but I just don't. And I've never been able to. Nothing feels right to me whenever I try to kind of like be somebody that I'm not. So no, I think it's more just like a compartmentalize, if you will. It's not disassociate. It's not a character. It's just I get to be like, all right, all this shit is living in this bucket back in the green room. Everything else is in this bucket on this stage, and my job is to make them have a good time. That's the only job I have up here. It's not about me, it's about them. And that's kind of just the mentality that I take on when I get on stage, and I think that's what it is. It's like when you're going through something tough and you go over to your friend's house and they're going through something tough. It's like you want to just pour into your friend to ignore your own stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a 7. That's what I do, is I distract. I don't want to deal with the pain and the fear, and so I think I just pour myself into everybody else in the crowd and feed off their energy and then deal with it when I get back to the green room, you know?
I was like 26 years old before I realized that compartmentalizing can be a healthy coping skill.
For sure, yeah.
You know, like you always hear like men compartmentalize and therefore you're like, red flag, unhealthy.
Yeah.
I just never, like I remember I was going through a bunch of stuff and I was talking to my therapist and I was like, I feel like I'm just compartmentalizing a lot. And she's like, that's good.
That's a good thing.
It's a good thing to be able to do. Like you're not meant to live in like doom and gloom 24/7. Like you're supposed to be able to also survive. And like unfortunately you like have to. It's not necessarily like this is a good thing to do. It's like no, you have to like go
compartmentalize and be able to get through it. I think the only kind of metaphor that I would use though, so for example, if you're cleaning your house and you're like compartmentalize, you're gonna put these buckets in this room and these buckets in this room, and you just end up filling up one room with all the shit you don't want to deal with. You got to deal with it at some point. I think that's the one thing that I have a hard time with, is being on the road, being busy, you know, with this career. I tend to just throw it in a box and throw it in the room and just close, and all of a sudden the room is exploding with things, and I'm like, I have to deal with it. So I think
it's like bleeding into other rooms and it's ruining everything else.
Exactly. Yeah. And like people are walking into the house and you're like, nope, nothing to see here. And it's just bursting out of the seams. So I think that's where therapy really does help when it comes to that stuff, because for a long time I just was like, I'm fine. I'm in my family, I'm kind of like the rock too. Like I'm the comedic relief, and I don't show emotions, and I'm like the funny sibling, and that's kind of like the role that I've always had as a younger sister. And so I think I've had to just really learn how to step into also being emotional and also being able to be vulnerable and show those things.
What birth order are you again?
I'm the youngest.
Okay.
It's me and my sister. Sense. Yeah.
When it came to compartmentalizing, something that I also realized is that there were certain things that I, like different like traumatic things that have happened in my life that I've dealt with at different like times in different ages, because one, it affected me different at those ages. I was really hard on myself because I was like, well, I've gone to therapy, I've done all of this, like I should be healed, this shouldn't be bothering me.
Right.
And one like therapist said to me, she's like, yeah, like, you know, the 25-year-old version of you is like healed from this, but it will affect you in different areas at different times. It's like when someone loses a parent and then they become a parent, and then that's a whole new level of loss. Yes, a new chapter to walk into of like dealing with things. So that's something else I've realized with compartmentalizing, where sometimes I was like, all right, I feel like I've been numb for a couple months and I really need to get to this. I'm like, I think I'm just also not ready at times, you know?
Yeah.
And there's a difference between pushing it off and not being ready. And of course I pushed it off, but there are other things that I've realized. I'm like, oh, like, now I feel like I'm in a place and I actually have better tools that now I can deal with it versus like just letting my whole life fall apart and like being unwell, because that made it worse, obviously.
For sure. Yeah. I think that's important though. I think, but also compartmentalizing is important in the sense of sometimes there's nothing to dig into. Like sometimes you're just like, you know what? Today's sunny and 75 and I want to go have a damn good day, and that's it. And that's, I'm going to do that and I'll deal with this later. And I think that that's also, there is like a healthy coping in that too.
Yeah. It's like you should still have like, you still, not should, you are worthy and you deserve to still have good days.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's honestly since part of why I wanted to get Ace out before my second record is because I was like, man, there is so much in this that was so heavy and was so important to me and did happen and needs to kind of artistically be expressed. And I wrote a lot about it, and they're damn good songs. I think I'm biased, but like I wanted to get those out, but I also felt like the story needed to be told because I talked a lot about it online and just with my friends and whoever at shows and played a lot of these shows. And so I wanted to have that chapter put in a chapter, wrapped up and put away. So it wasn't kind of bleeding into my next record because I didn't really need to. And some of the songs might carry over to my second record, but I just wanted to like wrap it up and be like, all right, this is the chapter, this is the story, on to the next, you know?
No, I think that's incredible.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about breakups and just like breakup survival guides.
Let's do it.
Because they're actually the worst.
They really are.
They really suck.
Yeah.
What like kind of personality type are you in a breakup? Like I personally take them very, very hard. Like I take it very personally and I'm absolutely devastated.
I'm sorry, that sucks.
No, I'm fine. I'm
so
actually very
awful.
happy now, but I mean like in a breakup, I don't mean I'm devastated now. I mean like I will be devastated in a breakup, yeah.
Oh man, I think it kind of depends on like what the situation is. Like when I was cheated on in my couple exes ago relationship, I feel like I took on the like I hate you
Picture to burn.
Yeah, exactly. Which I'm not a hateful person at all, but I think I just was so upset with that situation and thinking that he was different and whatever. But I will say the most recent breakup that I went through, that most of Ace is about and the whole process of it, I think I took on more of like an avoidant role in it. Like I think there's so much to dig into with that breakup, but I haven't really talked much about. But I think I just got to a point where I just didn't really know what else to do. And so I just was like, all right, I'm just going to disassociate from this and let it be and try to kind of cut my emotions out of it, which is so not healthy. But I think when you love somebody so deeply and it feels like something's just not matching up and you can't really get it to match up and it feels like you try so hard and you communicate well and you're in love and everything's wonderful, but there's just like something that's not matching up. I think the only thing you really can do is just kind of forcibly put a wall up and just make yourself move on, you know? And there was a lot of, we're broken up, we're back together, we're broken up, we're back together, and all the things in between, which a lot of the songs on this project represent pretty well. But yeah, I think I just kind of started to be more of an avoidant, and which made him more anxious. Are you more anxious or avoidant?
So now I've actually gone through a lot of therapy for this specifically because I, growing up, was more anxiously attached.
Right.
And I didn't want to be at all. And so like there's for the listeners, there's like 3 types of like actual attachment theory. We talk about this actually on the podcast a lot, but if you're new, it's like anxious, avoidant, and then secure.
Yeah.
And I've gone through so much therapy and like now I'm in like the healthiest best relationship ever. And I'm very secure but I also think it's because I have a very secure partner.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know how much of it is me and how much of it is him, but I naturally, for the most part, I'm anxious. I've dabbled in avoidance though. Of course.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like the exact opposite. Like I've dabbled in anxious every once in a while, like when I was like in my teens or whatever, but I think I'm usually secure. Like I feel like most relationships I've been in, I'm pretty secure. And me and my ex started that way, very secure, but then, you know, things happen and little things start to sneak in and make you question. And then for us too, it was like, I think I was 28 and he was in his 30s. I was 25 and he was in his 30s. And so I think it was just life planning, and like we worked so well as people, but our lives didn't always work together as careers. And so we just would start to kind of butt heads and think differently. And yeah, it was just one of those things, but here we are. Now I have an EP about it, so.
No, it is just like so tough.
It's so tough.
If you could go back and tell yourself like I know this is a really dragged out breakup.
Yeah, and you're good.
But mid breakup, if you could go back and tell yourself something at that point, what would you say?
It's hard to say because I do think everything happens for a reason, but I think I spent a lot of time in that breakup like explaining why I wanted to break things off. Like I just kept explaining because I loved him, and I mean I'll always love him, you know, but I think I just explained over and over and over again like why I was feeling this way, why I was feeling anxious about certain things, why I was unhappy, why things went the way that they went, why all the whys. And I think in the process of explaining and trying and fighting and getting back together and breaking up again and all the things, I think we kind of ran it into the ground even more than we should have. And we always said like down the road, if it's meant to happen, it will, kind of a thing. And I feel like we kind of shot that to hell because of the fact that we did this so much. And so I think if I could tell myself in the middle of all of it, I would just say, hey, you know, you love him, you know that right now it's not right. So just genuinely like cut it off and let it be. And if it's meant to come back, it will. And instead we kind of both like hung on in different ways a little too long to really give us a fighting chance at down the road. I mean, you never know, you know, life's not short, I guess, in that sense. Like you just never know what's going to happen. But yeah, I think I would just encourage anybody out there too that's going through a similar situation where things feel like 98% wonderful, but there's a 2% that's missing, and there's a really important 2% that's missing about this certain situation. You know that, trust your gut, do what you got to do, and if it's meant to happen, then it will pan out, you know?
I heard Mel Robbins say this on a podcast recently, that basically the way to know if your relationship is going to work or has like a fighting chance, there's only like two things that you really like cannot get past. And it's one, if one of those people has to give up their dream, like whatever they want in life, they can no longer get. Right. And then the second was if it's going against like your values. And what's so interesting is like when I think about any relationship that I've been in that hasn't worked out, or like people around me that I've seen that hasn't worked out, every time the breakup is like over one of those two things, which doesn't feel like insane. It's like, yeah, of course, values in that, but
that's so true.
It is so true, but you always like, so we make it a bigger thing. Like when you're saying like I was, you know, over explaining and we really ran it into the ground. I feel like I said this recently on the podcast, but like anytime I've done mental gymnastics trying to make something work, where I like went in, it just like wasn't, at least at that point, was not meant to be. Right. But of course I stayed in it because I'm like, no, I'm dedicated and I'm persistent. I'm gonna put in the work. Absolutely. Yeah. And I feel like it went so much worse because of that, because I wasn't able to let it go.
And that's the thing is like, you know, my ex is a wonderful human. He is a wonderful human. I feel like the one before him, I didn't really say those things about because he was, you know, questionable. But he really is like just the best guy. And it just sucks because like when you do those mental gymnastics, for me, it was because I was like, but he's so great. Like we got to make this work. Like we work so well together. Everything's so wonderful. But that was the first relationship I'd been in there. It wasn't like a screaming red flag in my face because I tend to just like stay in those relationships like an idiot, thinking like it's going to turn green someday, like whatever. But it was one of those relationships where like everything was so wonderful, but then there was like certain things that were just really not right and needed to be right in order for it to work. And so to your point, it's like when you do the flips and you're on the bars and you're doing everything you can trying to make it work mental gymnastics wise, it's like how do you break it off? But I think, yeah, you're right. It's just like doing it.
Also, sometimes when they're good people, it is so much harder to go through the breakup. Hard. It's amazing when they do something to fuck you over.
Yeah,
like when I
want to hate them.
Yeah, and like I get DMs from girls like every day, and they're like talking about something, or like it's into like something with podcast related. Typically, it's like I was listening to your breakup episode, and I went through this, and I thought he was fine, and then 2 weeks later, I found out he cheated on me, or he did this and that and the other, and I'm like, girl, you have no idea what kind of gold you have right now. I'm like, literally hold on to that and move on, because there's so many times where you're just kind of more like, you're in like purgatory almost. Like you're in the in-between because you can't not that you need to hate them to get over them. Actually, you don't need to hate them. You need to be indifferent. That's actually how you get over them, because if you hate them, then you still have feelings.
Correct, yeah.
So like you need to be like completely removed, but it's a lot easier to get to that point and quicker to get to that point when they do something
because you're like,
hurt
okay,
you.
well, they suck and whatever.
Yeah.
That's what's so hard is, I just feel like when somebody's, this is the first time I've really experienced that too. I mean, there's people that I dated, earlier in my days, but I was like, it wasn't that serious. Like, whatever, but this is the first time that it was like, we could have gotten married for sure. Like, I could have seen that for sure. And nothing was wrong with him. Nothing was wrong with me. It was just like life can kind of create rifts and anxiety and things that are really hard to fix. And I think you're right. It's like I wrote a song one time. It's not on any of these projects right now, but it's called Wish You Cheated. And it was literally what we're talking about. It's like, I kind of wish you cheated, and I wish that you lied, and I wish that you were somebody that my sister didn't like, and I wish that you sucked so I could break up with you and not feel, or get broken up with or whatever, and not feel that way. It sucks when they're a good person. It really does.
Because if they did that, then it's like good riddance.
Right.
And it's a weird like protective bad around yourself, because it's also more vulnerable to still love someone and to think so well of them. Like it is this weird like defense mechanism.
Right.
But it does help in a breakup.
But I think that's like, going back to kind of what we both said is the smart thing to do if you're in a relationship with somebody that you really love, but it's just not right. Like, you just got to be like, we're done. Like, you don't need a reason to hate them. I think as you get older, you realize like, man, there doesn't have to be a reason for a relationship not to work. It doesn't, because I used to think that way, where it's, if you're in a relationship and they treat you good, you treat them good, you're happy, you have a dog, life's wonderful. You just stay with them forever, get married, have kids, and, happily ever after. But like, that's not, if you don't feel something's right, it doesn't have to be something that like messed you up or like really like fucked you over. Like, it can just be something that it's not right, and that's okay.
But how do you stay strong in that moment when you still love them?
I'm not the person to give advice because I suck at it. I sucked at it. Like, truly, like I said, I'll always love him. I think he's a wonderful human, and whatever. It's just, I think also I'm really bad at like the final, okay, we're done. And we did the dance for a minute. We did okay, we're not seeing each other, but we can get lunch because like friends do that, right? And we can maybe hang out, and I'm drunk, want to hang out. Like, it just, we did that for a minute, and I think I wasn't strong. Is the way to say it. I was so not strong, and I think we just needed to both agree on like no contact for that to actually pan out, because he deserves the world, and he will say that I deserve the world. And I think, it's tough, but you just got to cut the cord, and if it's meant to happen down the road, then God will bring you back together. That's all I got.
It's really hard too when you're in your mid-20s and you don't necessarily have, like, I think about a lot of things in life, and as I've gotten older, doing certain things that are hard,
right.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily gotten easier, but I have proof that like something else good will work out,
right? Exactly, 100%. Yeah.
So when it comes to something in your mid-20s where this is maybe someone listening, it's their first relationship or their first true love,
right.
It is really hard because you don't believe that like you can find that again or something good will happen. Like, I personally had a lot of really weird like limiting beliefs around like my like romantic relationship part of my life, but like when it came to career, I didn't have those. But it's because I had markers of like, well, this didn't work out, but something worked out better, but this didn't work out, but
right.
something better came. For me, I really only had like bad examples, and then like my parents had a horrible marriage, not horrible marriage, but they split, so it wasn't a great marriage. Like, I didn't have all those things to look to,
right?
So I think for me it was hard to truly let something go and know that like something better would come. And now I'm like, well, thank God I did that. Like, I'm so glad that I like got out of all the things, and I really just had to like, I would think about myself at like 60 years old, like looking back at myself now and being like, I have to like make her proud and like set her life up, because if I look back and I'm like, you lose, like, what, not that you shouldn't call yourself a loser, but this is like now the father of your children, and that was like, but again, it's harder when they're good
too. I think that's something about our generation, I think, is we're genuinely thinking a lot more about down the road than maybe the generation before us did. And it's funny because your parents are not together. I have I don't know why I'm wired the way that I am, because my parents met when they were 15 and 17. They're still together to this day. They're high school sweethearts. They're like the cutest ever. Both sides of my grandparents met really young. Like, I have a lot of people that have been married forever and long-term, committed, wonderful relationships in my life. And somehow I'm like, oh, like, I don't know. It's just it's like this fear of the that's the father to my kids in, 30 years. So that just freaks me out. And there's a lot of kind of mental hoops to jump through with picking that person. And I think I just have a little bit of fear because of that, which is so stupid. But at the same time, when you see people go through that and you see what it takes to have a really strong, committed relationship, you can be obsessed with somebody when you're 25. And when you hit 35, it's tough. I think every marriage is tough to a certain extent. You have to fight through all of the different eras and people that they become along the way and all the things. And so I think my mom always said too, my dad and her are madly in love, but love is a choice. She's like, I love him. We're so attracted to each other, even now in our older age and whatever. But you have to, like, every single day show up and choose to love that person and choose them through every argument, choose them through temptations of other things, like choose them. And you have to just pick somebody that you want to keep choosing. That's it. And I'm like, okay, well, that seems easy to do. But then it's like, okay, who do I pick? Like, how do you know if that's the right person to pick? So it's a lot. But I do think, to your point about finding, something better will come along the way. That's so true. Because my ex in high school, I remember being like, this is it. Yep. This is like the guy. This is everything. This is everything. And then like now my ex that I'm talking about a lot on this with you is 10 times better than that relationship. And so better things do come.
It's so funny you bring that up because I heard you say when I was prepping for this episode, an interview, I heard you say like, my parents are high school sweethearts, they're so in love. And I thought to myself, I'm like, I wonder how that has messed her up. Because at the same time, like, that is a lot of pressure.
For sure.
To like, and you know what else it is with this generation? It's like, yes, we are thinking so much towards the future,
right.
But we also have more, like, I guess it would be maybe like decision fatigue because there's so many other options now.
That's such a good point.
So there's like Peter Pan syndrome with so many guys. And then, I mean, of course, like girls have issues too, but like, there's so many different options, and because there's so many different options, you're like afraid of settling down.
Yes.
And we are like a little over therapized in ways.
100%.
So we like it really is just a lot.
It's a really, really valid point. You're so right. And that's, I think I try to just like not even care about, and honestly too with what I do, I meet a lot of people, but I used to always tell my ex too when I was on the road, I was like, man, it's like I meet a lot of people, but I never meet anybody that like genuinely intrigues me to date. Like, it feels like I'm meeting so many people, and that's a lot of people's issues now, is that it's like you meet a lot of people at bars or at shows or wherever you are in your life and your job, but there's not always somebody that piques your interest to date or to have as a compatible partner.
So it's rare to meet someone that's going to be like your new best friend. That's why everyone feels so lonely.
Yeah. Exactly. And so it makes you wonder, like, of course we are getting exposed to a lot, but it's more like, okay, there aren't that really many options because you don't meet that many people that are up to what you want,
So this like fake idea that we have on social media. Mm-hmm. So you think like even if you meet someone that you really click with or whatever it is, you don't want to date them because you're like afraid of settling.
Exactly.
Yeah. I also think like, I mean, depending on where you're at, like I was like that with dating. I think I had many, many issues with dating, but when I met my boyfriend now, I was like, oh, that's it. Like it was so quick and easy and like never been less stressed as someone who was so anxious. Like it was the complete opposite. So all these problems that I'm talking about, I feel like actually didn't exist when I like met like the more of like the right person, So like maybe it does just go away. A lot of the things that people say when you're like, shut the fuck up, you're so annoying. I'm like, oh, I get it now. But like, I really do think, at least for me personally, and like maybe it's the amount of therapy or something that I had gone to, like it really did just kind of fall into place. Whereas I didn't ever think that was going to happen. That's
so true. It's a valid point. Yeah.
And even just like career-wise, I'm like, there's always something. It's like, no, you find something, you choose, you commit to it, you work hard. Like, I think a lot of it is just about like making a commitment.
That's so true.
People just don't want to do that these days.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
But it's also scary to know like who you'd want to commit to,
No, it's because also it's like I say it all the time, like who you marry is the most important decision in your life. And then it's like, okay, well, wow, pressure's on also.
Right, literally. You're like, okay, well, I'm scared. I'm just going to be alone forever then. You're like, no, I'm done.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about this release?
I'm so excited. I really feel like this Ace is probably the most important project that I've done thus far. And obviously I'm only an album and an EP in, so like there's not a ton to go off of to compare it to, but it just feels like this era of writing is the most honest that I've been, and it's just I don't know, I'm really excited about it. I feel like it's going to be one of those projects I can look back on in however many years and be like, dang, like I was really just speaking my truth, and that is something that's super important to do. And also I just think every song is really great, like whether it was my story or not. I just think they're really, really good songs, and feels like a concept album, which I've never done before. So yeah, I'm really excited about it.
This kind of reminds me of like almost like rolling up the welcome mat in the way of like that's just something you put out to like get out and move on. Like that's kind of like the vibe that this is giving me, and like,
I love
this
that,
is really exciting.
I love that. Yeah, I love Kelsea. She's so talented, and that EP was like one of the best ever. So
seriously, so good.
Insane. She's so talented. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I love that, and she's always, you know, so inspiring in so many ways. And you're right, that is kind of a similar like mentality in it. Very different topics to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is just kind of, I think me and Kelsea both cope in a similar way when it comes to writing. I think we both experience things and then pour it into writing in a way that is not just like writing for whatever the next radio single is. It's like we really write what feels true to us and what actually is honest to what we're going through. And I think that's important for artists to be able to have those projects live somewhere as a project to go out into the world. And I think Welcome Out was that for her, and that's totally that for me.
That's amazing. Yeah. So if you're coming back on 3 years from now, what are like 3 big things, big dreams, can be career, personal, that you want to have happened in the next 3 years?
That's a great question. This is our what is it?
Our
3-year date or whatever.
Yes.
Let's see. I want to sell out the Ryman.
Hell yeah.
I want to win Female Vocalist of the Year. Yes. And
so you're like a dream collaborator?
Ooh, that's a good one. I want to collaborate with Ed Sheeran in some way.
I would love that.
Whether it's just a song we write together or a song we do together. He's always been a dream collab for me, so that'd be huge.
I so see your vibes together, too.
Yeah, I love him. He's wonderful.
I love him. When he just did, what was that? It was like the Spotify session thing with Megan.
I saw that, yeah.
Whatever that thing was so cool.
So cool.
Like,
he does that a lot, though. Like, I feel like he's very under the radar with stuff. Like, he likes to kind of like jump up and do a pop-up show. He doesn't really want to have like the structured thing, which I think is really cool.
Because aren't even his shows like not the most structured?
I think his stadium shows. I think the thing that's beautiful about Ed, the reason I fell in love with him and like love his music and stuff, is his show is just him, a guitar, and a loop pedal. Mm-hmm. There's no band, like there's nothing backing him. It's just him, a guitar, and a loop pedal, and it rattles. It rattles an arena. It rattles a stadium. Like it's crazy the production value for just one man and a guitar. It's insane. And so I think that's why he has the freedom to do whatever he wants to do. If somebody requests a song, he's like, all right, whatever, I'll play it. And that's, I think, really, really cool. And nobody does it like that.
He's so good. Yeah. He is someone who, if he's ever on a podcast, I'm clicking and watching it immediately. Yeah. He is insane.
He is just so interesting, and he's so deeply creative, and I just think he's the best ever.
I like that he like doesn't have a phone. Like he doesn't stay connected. Like good for him. Go off, King.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I feel like maybe the most deeply poetic and creative people are off social media because they know that it can really just distract your brain from things that you want to be thinking of. So maybe we all should just get off social media.
Just robbing us all.
I'm just kidding. We shouldn't do that. But like in theory, maybe.
In theory, it sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay, what are some albums that you're listening to currently?
Ooh, the Olivia Dean one, The Art of Loving.
Obsessed.
So good.
Literally so good. My boyfriend even is obsessed. Like, can we play like that Olivia girl? I'm like, yeah, she is unbelievable.
So good. Her voice is like very mature, and she's younger than us. She's like 25, I think.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so she's so mature and just so wonderful. An album that I never stop listening to is the Lacey K. Booth Loneliest Girl in the World album.
Seriously, unbelievable.
It's so good. Like I just can never stop listening to it.
So good.
Yeah, I also love Muscadine Bloodline, like all their stuff recently. Yeah, I would say those 3.
Those are great.
Yeah.
I like the combos.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on. Can you let us know where they can find you and the new project?
Yep, it's just Ashley Cooke with an E on the end, so ASHLEY Cooke, COOKE, and the project is called Ace. Go listen to it.
Yay, I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too.